It's finally Friday. It's Friday, Friday.
Thank God it's
All right, welcome back to the Friday Show, presented this week by Indiana Racing and that state's Breed Development Fund. I'm Scott Jagow, along with Ray Paulick. Glad to have you with us. Coming up, we'll talk about a new development in betting in this country. But first, Ray, I'm going to give you exactly 30 seconds only, to wrap up last week's Eclipse Awards. Go.
Well, it was a really fast-paced Eclipse Awards, the fastest-paced Eclipse Award I've ever seen. In fact, I thought the voters got everything right. I thought the horse of the year was right. I thought Enable was I was afraid she was going to win, but I think they did the right thing when they voted for Sister Charlie for the female turf. I thought they got it right in the Jockey Award, in the male turf award with Stormy Liberal beating Expert Eye. The closest though was the female turf, like we talked about. Well, I've got several other categories I want to talk about.
Oh, I think that's going to do it. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks for giving us that update there, Ray. All right, let's move on and talk about the Pegasus World Cup last weekend at Gulfstream Park. The big story was the rain. I mean, it was awful, and you were there, soaked to the bone. But this is the third year we've had this event now, so I want to get your opinion on the bigger picture, the context for the industry. How is this event serving the industry?
Well, I'm not sure who the first marketing person was that said we need more big events. But, you know, racing has kind of slowly developed big events. The Triple Crown has always been one of the big events in racing. And then the Breeders' Cup was created in the 1980s. Since then, we've had some other big events. Opening days of Del Mar, opening day, this Traverse Day at Saratoga. And the Stronach Group looked at creating a big event in the end of January, and I think they've been very successful in doing it this way, and they've done it with this unique buy-in from the owners, where the owners put the money up for the purse money. The first 2 years, heavy favorites won, and then this year they said, you know, let's add a second race to it. They added the turf, which didn't get the best of fields, I don't think, just simply because we don't have very many good turf horses here. But they have successfully created an event that people who are not regular racing fans want to attend and pay a lot of money for. Regular racing fans have to stay home and watch it on TV or go to an OTB or something like that. But, you know, they have successfully created an event. And, you know, from that standpoint, with good horses, and, you know, the one thing they couldn't do anything about was the rain.
Right. Well, the timing is a up and down thing. I mean, it's great because it's between the AFC and NFC championships and the Super Bowl. So there's no NFL football. There's no college football to compete with like the Breeders' Cup has to deal with in November. So that's great. You know, on the downside of that, I guess, internationally, you're not, European horses aren't in training. We did get Magic Wand, who finished second in the turf. I was a little surprised she even came over. We did get the Japanese horse, which could open the door next year for wagering from Japan, which is a huge boon. I think the biggest thing is that it's on national TV. It was on NBC. There's a lot of money going into this event between the TV coverage and the purses and the marketing around it and paying for Snoop Dogg, you know. So, you know, you have to weigh the cost-benefit analysis. I'm sure it doesn't really come out great in that respect, but you are getting on national TV. You do have celebrities involved. It is a big entertainment event, and it gives one more big day for racing to shine on a national stage. So I think from that standpoint, it's been pretty successful. A lot of people didn't think it would make it after the first year.
That's right, and I think it would have grown this year in terms of handle were it not for the weather. You know, the early part of the card, they had to take races off the turf. You ended up with a few short fields. The racing department put together a terrific card. The weather was supposed to hold off until Sunday, but it just poured overnight on Friday and then off and on during the card on Saturday. And during the Pegasus World Cup itself, it reminded me of the Preaknesses with you know, with the storms rolled through. I mean, it was just insane.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. Okay, let's move on and talk to about a development that just occurred. The state of Oregon licensing a company called Colossal Bets of London. Now, this company does syndicates, so they offer the opportunity for one person to pick a ticket, and then you can join in and give your share, and then try to collect the prize at pick 4, pick 5, whatever. But they also have this feature that I enjoyed in Australia called the cash out function. And this allows you, if you made it through 3 legs of the pick 4 and you're not sure you have a good chance to win that 4th leg, you can cash out and take what the company will offer you. Do you think this will be popular here?
I don't know if it's going to be popular. I hope so, because I think it's really a unique alternative to just the traditional pari-mutuels. Colossus Bets will, they're assuming all of the risk, and they will operate, I guess, as kind of a micro site within an ADW. So if you make a bet on your preferred ADW company, Colossus Bets can be part of that, and if you're live for a pick 4 or something like that, and you're one of those people that perpetually is hitting the first 3 legs of a pick 4, the first 4 legs of a pick 5, and you always, I didn't have the right horse in the last leg, you can, they'll make an offer, and I'm sure that they have a calculation based on what they think the ticket is worth, and it's not going to be, you're not going to be made whole as if you had the full bet. But
right.
I just think it's a great option for people that, might look at their ticket and say, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, well, if you spend $100 on your ticket, let's say, and they're offering you $300, but your long shot in the 4th leg could pay $500, you just got to weigh that. I mean, you could go to 0. If that long shot doesn't come in, you go to 0. Or you triple your money, get $300. So, I mean, it's kind of like those game shows, Let's Make a Deal or Deal or No Deal, Price is Right, where there are options on the table. Keep what you have, door number 1, 2, or 3, or take the shot and hope for a big prize, hope for the Hawaiian vacation in the end. So I think it's a neat concept. And in this day and age with sports betting coming in and a lot of legislatures looking at that, we keep talking about this issue, but just giving people options is a good thing.
Yeah, and the other thing I like about this is that my understanding is that you don't have to sell the whole thing. If you have a live ticket, you can sell half of it. You can sell it in 10% increments. So it's like hedging a little bit. I'll sell enough to get my money back on the bet, and if it hits, I'll still enjoy some of the upside to it. So it's about time we see this kind of innovation. Exchange wagering came in a few years ago in New Jersey. It didn't expand to other states. It's kind of flat there now. As you mentioned with sports betting, people who bet sports are going to have a lot of different options, and racing can't just stay back and offer the same type of bets that it's done for the last 100 years. It's got to compete with sports wagering, and this is one of the kinds of things I think that'll make it more fun.
Yeah, I think this has a much higher degree of success opportunity than, say, that roulette wager that the Stronach Group did recently, that the pools have been terrible. Yeah. And it was an interesting idea, but again, you're trying to appeal to new fans. This, I think, can appeal to almost everyone who bets on racing. This could not just be new fans, but hardcore horse players who want to do a little risk management if they have a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, and the syndicate bets are fun too. That's already being done to some extent, but the one thing about the syndicate bets is you buy in with a percentage of the total ticket price, and you have no input. There's a captain that will decide, and I'm not much of a person to say sure whatever you want to do, just here's some money, you bet whatever the way you want. So that's not for me, but it might be for some people that want to be part of a big ticket.
Yeah. All right, what do you think about this? We have a poll on our website asking the question about the cash out option. Is this something that is interesting to you? Would you be using it if it's available through your ADW? Let us know your thoughts. All right, Friday show presented by Indiana Racing and that state's Breed Development Fund. More than 20 races worth $100,000 for Indiana Sire and Indiana Bred, and also $16 million throughout the year in incentives. So a lot of going on in Indiana Racing. That's going to do it for this edition of the Friday Show. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.